Hey friends, hope you're ready for some more virtual fun brought to you here by DemiCon 31. My name is Janine Watkins and I'll be releasing my first book this next month called Sonder Lives or Sonder Lives. Either way, you are going to follow a Mauritian who is on Earth having a human experience. So without further ado, I will read you the first section and then I will read you one of my favorite excerpts. So here we go. Mitt, life is a game. You are about to embark on a mission in many, many words. The mission is simply to live life. Life is simple. There's only one thing you need to know. Life is a game. In this game, you can take any route. Not all lead to victory, but do not be fearful of failing or of falling into darkness. With every restart, you are granted a pair of fresh eyes, and sometimes old skills acquired from previous games are never forgotten when the intention is to continue to play. Your intention is what keeps you through your unique labyrinth. There are no shortcuts, and no one can help you. They will only hinder you. It might seem like they are helpful if you seek them out, but within this labyrinth, prana beings you encounter should be seen as walls or walkways. Prana beings play important parts in all labyrinths, reflections of the living form, just echoing messages back to us that give us direction. You play the same role in their labyrinths, and we are all playing to complete our own games of life. Have fun with it, even if you come to find that a chosen direction is just a dead end or a distraction. Never be remorseful or unable to take a new path on a walkway that has been terminated. These lead to just walls, but you can always turn around. Yourself already knows the way, so master these distractions as you begin to identify them. And realize that they tend to repeat, often in loops or spiraled cycles. If you desire to get out of your cycles, you will. Most importantly, and be honest with yourself, when beginning a new cycle, how do you most often choose to make your moves? There are 4 choices. Strive to ascend, strive to descend, avoid any movement, or trust every movement. The first 3 choices are trapped in expectations on where you are supposed to go. But if you trust and you will always go in the way that is going, you will win this game of life. Prana beings often believe everything in life happens to them. A small, very powerful group already knows that everything in life happens through them. This becomes easier to understand when you surround yourself with prana beings who are victors over their labyrinth's walls rather than victims. To practice, simply listen to all different possibilities from all points of view. From there, you will recognize that the universal truth is made up of many different Sonder lights, all shining outwards from a topical source. These Sonder lights together can enlighten every previously filled area of darkness and unknown fear. Exploring this darkness with the intention of trusting the unknown instead of fearing it illuminates the importance of understanding Sonder lights. Ultimately and intentionally, Sonder light will alter how all life forms play the game. Your intention is known by you the entire way through your labyrinth, even if you claim not to know it. Not choosing is also an option, so be mindful on how you choose to make your moves. If you often find yourself getting frustrated about continuously being in a complacent loop, just think about what has you making these moves and keep going with your game of life. Focus and notice if your game has many repeated levels. The more misaligned you are with your intention, the more you will likely repeat cycled areas of life instead of exploring other ones. And you know what? That's okay. This is your mission, your game. You get to play it any way you desire. It is your life, your lave, and your universe. So again, prepare to embark on a mission in many, many words. This mission is Sonder's. Sonder Light has a life, and it's very simple. Flash. All right, and then I'm going to read you my favorite excerpt from Chapter 8, Customer Service. We are taking part with Cassiopeia, who's about to wake up and have her world be completely altered. Cassiopeia has continued her story. Flash. That evening, giant beams of light flooded Cassiopeia's flattened world, causing her to stir awake. Frantically, she tells, I'm here, on this hill, next to these trees, I'm here. After she says this over and over again to the brink of exhaustion, the hovercraft drops down and rescues her. As she is pulled on board, Cassiopeia collapses while saying, "Oh Allah, thank you. I don't know where to go, and She faints. Cassiopeia wakes up with the moon, and it is high. She overhears, "That's the end of the line. At least we saved one." There is a transmission made. "We rescued one young yin from the remote village. Returning to headquarters. Clear." Cassiopeia comes to terms with being the only survivor. Not wanting to distract the pilot or co-pilot, she directs her attention outside the window. In solace, Cassiopeia begins to realize how much of her world she had missed while living solely in chivalry. Geographically, the village of chivalry was a pond compared to these great lakes she flies over now. Tragically, 3 major cities she hovers over are no more than massive rings of fire. Every valley and open field she passes no longer seems functional. These cities dwarfed her village in comparison, but now they are similar in their silence. As they approach the highest mountain range in the governing city of Mares, her inner intelligence reminds her of a thought that Andromedans usually jingle in their singing. "You might say you want to stay here forever, but it is worth it to let go and explore." She isn't going home, but she does feel she's going to be safe. She feels an urge to remember that she was put on that hill to survive. She doesn't know why, but she trusts that she'll discover it soon enough. The hovercraft returns to the landing docks at the Universal Network's headquarters. When Cassiopeia lands, she is brought into the Universal Network's main hall of history to meet Arian. Arian is the peace marshal of the Marasian Peace Department. The moment Arian sees Cassiopeia, he lightens up and declares, "Even though it's our first time meeting, I already knew you were coming. It's as if I expected it." In an odd way to greet someone, it causes Cassiopeia to become defensive. "Sir, I had no intention on leaving chivalry today. I needed never to intend on leaving my village ever. I have no idea of what it's like to be outside, and this is quite an experience. I do not know where I fit in outside of my valley." With a clear look of understanding, he says, "Ah, seems like a reasonable and very normal curiosity, I assure you. Well then, we shall figure it out together. Today we've all experienced a great loss. My clan of 6 is now down to 2. My offspring Omega and I are coping very differently." Cassiopeia drops her guard. "Oh, I am so sorry. I had no idea, sir. Call me Arian," Arian interjects. "And let's talk about this over dinner. I'm famished. Are you hungry?" Cassiopeia nods meekly. Knowing that she hasn't eaten all day, she has no other want to intrude, so she asks, "May I prepare it?" Ecstatically, Arian accepts. "Oh, absolutely. With everything happening today, the staff was dismissed. But between the 2 of us, I think we could find our way around the kitchen, shall we?" Cassiopeia and Arian both find themselves making their way through the kitchen effortlessly. Cassiopeia gets the layout much quicker. She inquires, "Will there be more joining us, or just us 2? Arian thinks, "Perhaps Omega, my eldest offspring. I haven't a clue where he went off to. I can also ask the search team to see how many of them are still on duty." In total, Cassiopeia prepares enough for 24 prana. More than enough. Astonished, Arian asked, "You certainly know your way around the kitchen. Do you make large meals like this often?" "Yes, twice a day. I had 6 younger siblings and my duality guardians to cook for, and we usually had about a dozen or so guests all with us at a time." Arian nods. "I see. Did you often have visiting guests outside of your clan?" "Yes, my clan ran the Chivalry Hospitality Center in our village. Sometimes my siblings would try to help in the kitchen, but I would send them away to clean the daily guest rooms checklist. In exchange, I'd cook us all meals and clean up afterward. The 9 of us ran the finest hospitality center. We were world-renowned and known by all other centers. Sure, we had our struggles, but always handled them with little less than a squabble to be spoken, with all levee and kindness. We had a working system, truly a clan-run business." Elated, Arian tries to relate. "Huzzah! I'd never even heard about a hospitality center, but your vision is similar to mine, and we all have this, well, we had. Actually, it was just me. I always wanted a working environment that acts and treats fellow coworkers as if they were our own clan. My partner and offspring didn't share the same desires. Never wanting to work, but always willing to take on my rewards. They levied living on this mountain and using my established credits within the society and our community. Well, they did. But they never listened to me. I wish they would have tried. I wish I would have tried harder to keep them here today. He falls silent. Cassiopeia doesn't know what to do, so she keeps preparing the food. Several moments pass before Arian jumps back in. Enough about me. What about you and your life? I'm ashamed to say I'd never even heard of chivalry. What was it like? The question seems to bring Cassiopeia alive, as if she was asked to put on a show. She begins stringing together memories of her village. Chivalry was remarkable. Even if it was your first time navigating those city streets, they generously propelled you over the warm cobblestones, down the most lively alleyways, always leading with a lingering sense of nostalgia. Leaving my center today made me feel like I was stepping out of the mundane and into a world of magic. Staring up in the Tyranian sky with fresh eyes was like seeing a play of a memorized manuscript. With much wonder, I left my clan as they waved me off. Their giddiness and immeasurable excitement for me to leave was only matched by their anticipation of me to return. They knew I'd bring back vibrant stories of my adventure. Cassiopeia starts mixing the food while continuing to speak. Chivalry has no strangers. Everyone is familiar. You see everyone and everyone that you pass in these streets. You feel it over and over again as it effortlessly guides you through the bustling crowds, right where you're supposed to be. All of the songs are known by heart, and its rich aromas do not seem to end. At all hours of the day, the tunes will chime with cheering glee, while the sweet scents of bread will waft endlessly. Oh, and the colors! Never have you seen so many pinks and yellows and unnatural-looking blues. Cassiopeia's eyes begin to scintillate. Honest to Allah, I didn't even know teal and aqua existed until today. Today? Arian follows up. Was it different from yesterday or the days before? Cassiopeia shakes her head. I don't actually know. Today was the first day I'd ever left my hospitality center since I was level 1. Arian is astonished. My word! Didn't your guardians let you out? Cassiopeia shrugs. I always declined. I saw no need. I had everything I wanted there. My clan, my comforts, my work, my world. I only agreed to go out today because I turned level 18. I chose a confusing day to level 8 and discover beauty. Dumbfounded, Arian clarifies. Your description of your town was from one day? She nods. From one time out? She nods. And that one day happened to be today? She nods. And you just turned level 18 after discovering beauty? She nods and adds, and for what it's worth, I did discover beauty today, and everything that Allah has ever given me. And now I know not to levy anything because, well, he'll take it. He only leads to destruction. I wish I had never said yes to leaving today. Life was simpler inside my center. Arian begins uneasily at Cassiopeia's words. My dear, surely you don't mean that. I mean, if you would have stayed in your center, you wouldn't have survived. She does not answer. Continuing to prepare and combine the ingredients, Arian is very uneasy. This time, though, he sits with his feelings for a little while longer. Arian collects himself enough to focus back at Cassiopeia as she starts to cook the food. This is a lot to unpack, and frankly, I don't know how you are so composed. Okay. Would you feel comfortable about doing anything about your living arrangements now? Do you have any distant clan members that you know of? Cassiopeia doesn't answer. She just shakes her head. There were none that she knew, and even if she did, what were the odds that they survived? Arian makes an offer. You may stay in this home for as long as you need to recover. I have more than enough room now, and it's... Cassiopeia stops preparing and interrupts him. Oh, no, sir, I couldn't possibly... Arian cuts her off. Please, accept this generosity, and it comes with no responsibility for you to go back to work. As it is, by preparing this single elaborate meal, you're working more than my entire clan ever did. I insist. Honestly, I feel like you're doing more a favor for me than you. Your presence is needed here. You have the nerves of a goddess, trust me. Nothing he says phases her. He asks again, how are you so calm and without a trace of desperation to be shown? Cassiopeia automatically responds, the answer is simple. I have no choice. Cassiopeia studies Arian's face. He is in awe of her. She purses her lips. I will accept your offer of hosting me if you agree on 2 things. 1, we share dinners together, and 2, you never assume an answer I might give without asking me first. Deal? Deal. So again, my name is Janine Watkins. Thank you for listening to my 2 excerpts from my book. Again, it is Sonder Lives, Sonder Lives, however you want to pronounce it. It will be released on May 4th this upcoming month. Enjoy the rest of DemiCon 31, and I will see you around. Have a good one.